welcome back to Cocktails, Tangents, and Answers. I am one of your hosts, Rich Mackey.
And I'm your other host, Caitlin Dre. We are so thrilled that you're here.
We're absolutely thrilled that this is actually continuing and we're keeping it going.
Right?
We're very proud of ourselves.
Honestly, is like one of the favorite things that I get to do as part of this job.
I think so too. I told somebody like I was nervous about it and then I'm like, no, I just have to sit and talk with my friend Caitlin for a while.
Yeah, I think it's a really special blend of all of our talents.
I would agree. Well, speaking of talents, we'll have more on that later. However, I think the first talent is you have a cocktail recipe to share with us.
I do. This one comes courtesy of my in-home bartender, aka spouse. He is a cocktail enthusiast and has really been honing his like recipe skills over the last like 2 years.
Well, and I just need to pause for a minute. So cocktail enthusiast is not a euphemism for drunk.
No.
Because he's not like, that. He is just super enthusiastic.
Sometimes, but not
but not like regularly.
No.
He is sometimes drunk. He is not a drunk.
Correct. Yeah.
But he just really loves, especially old craft cocktails and things like that.
Yeah. We've recently really gotten into like tiki drinks and like the kitsch culture. Yeah. So this is called 3 Dots and a Dash. And
I think I've heard of this.
It's so good. So it's white rum, aged rum, velvet falernum, which is the most fun thing to say. Allspice dram, honey syrup, so like honey simple syrup, and some fresh citrus, lime and orange, and then just a dash of Angostura bitters. In the industry, they call them Ango, or call it Ango. It's very annoying. But the garnish is where I get really excited. So it's 3 of the Luxardo cherries.
Of course.
Well, it's 3 cherries. Some people just choose a straight maraschino, but I really prefer the Luxardo cherries because they're just like so much richer. We've talked about the cherries.
We did. We got into that.
But on a cocktail pick. So the 3 cherries are the 3 dots, and then the dash of the bitters. I think is the dash.
Okay, I was going literally like viewing a dash. Right. Like the pick is the dash going
Maybe
through
it's
the
like
dots.
a choose your own dash venture. Who knows? But it's just like it's layered, and I love citrus. Like it's very fresh, but then the cherry garnish just adds this second kind of component of deliciousness.
That sounds actually very awesome. So I look forward to drinking that when we're done recording here.
Right, when it's quiet.
What's really funny about that is we went out booze shopping because I had somebody, and this will come up in a future episode or a past episode. I don't know what order these are going, and that's up to Zach. But we just bought allspice dram this last weekend because there's a drink that we're going to make with it. I don't think it's that one. It might be. I don't know. But I had created a booze list on our grocery list of a bunch of things
like
I needed.
Secondary list.
I was just like adding stuff because I was tweeting with somebody and getting into gin drinks. As you know, I've started doing more gin. So
fully endorse the gin drinks.
I know, and I never thought I would be a gin drinker. And we now have 5 kinds of gin in our house.
Is that all?
It's just 5. It's fine. And 2,
no, I'm saying like get more gin.
We have 2 empties if that helps. But it just killed me when you're like allspice dram, and I'm like, oh wow, I know what that is because we went one place and they did not have it, and then we went to another place, the giant Toys R Us booze emporium in Omaha, and yeah, they had it, which was great. They had like 2 bottles is all, and the guy's like, he's like, it's a fall thing, and we just got it in for summer.
It's like it's like Christmassy almost.
But he's like, supply chain. We get all of our fall booze in the summer. And we're like, well, we'll drink it. It's fine.
Yep. You're practicing for the fall.
Absolutely. And I think if anybody tries that, then we need an email or a call or something. So listen at the end. You'll have ways to contact us. But we definitely want to know if you like the 3 dots and a dash. It sounds heavenly to me.
It is. My husband / in-home bartender says that he's a self-proclaimed like garbage drinker because he ruined his taste buds early with like whiskey neat and like a heavy Maduro cigar. And so he has a much higher tolerance for things that taste to me like motor oil. and has since been trying to like dial that back. So he's like, hey, could you drink this? And the 3 dots passed the test.
Oh yeah. I mean,
sure.
I don't know. There's nothing in there that I would think like, I could drink all of that straight almost.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially like the dark rum.
He really loves just like, he wants to like peel paint. And I'm like, can we take it a step back, please? I'm not ready for that. So he'll like hand me something and be like, can you drink this? Can you drink this? I'm like, oof. It's taken a minute to like get him like pulled back enough where it's tolerable.
Yeah, that reminds me of another drink that if you forget the twist in the garnish, it's got a twist of grapefruit.
Mm-hmm.
If you forget that grapefruit oil, you could peel paint with the drink because otherwise it's just gin and vermouth. I
don't think I'm interested in that.
We'll try.
Yeah.
We'll get that in another episode. I think we're probably going to need to talk a little bit about who we've got joining us today.
I'm really excited for this because I consider myself a little bit of a utility player. I think I'm like the elder utility player.
That works for me because you came in as an account person and then
I came in as a
project manager.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
And then realized that there's a piece of that you love and a piece of that you don't love so much.
Yeah.
And so we hired a project manager who loves lists and orders, and she's fantastic. We'll get her on here one of these days. And then you shifted to account service. And then even in that, we figured out, I guess, or you did, we all did. You're super good at like keeping a website moving, like keeping project-based things moving, not project management with the global list, but keeping 1 or 3 or 4 things moving, in particular websites, and have revolutionized our time to market websites.
It's mostly just like, hey, we still need that. Can you please get us your stuff? We're ready. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's been really great. So you're not the utility player we're interviewing today.
Right. We're really excited to have Riley join us. And is Riley the newest member of our team?
No. That would be Stacy is the newest member.
Yes.
Riley would be, second newest. Yes.
I need a flow chart.
I know we do need to have. I'll pull up my HR spreadsheet.
It might be third. Yeah.
But yeah, and he joined us as an account coordinator, which is a nebulous job anyway. Yeah. It's not really defined. It's kind of what do you need to do to help everybody out.
Yeah.
And then kind of learned that, his role, he likes being useful. And so has actually migrated out of just account service and does a whole bunch of other things, which I won't get into. I know most of them, obviously, not all of them.
I don't know if I know these things.
But you're going to have to do the interview with him and find out what he's doing in account service, outside of account service. Yeah. And I think the title of this, what exactly does it mean to be a utility player in a marketing agency? Should be really interesting.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
All right. Should we get to it?
Yeah, let's go. Welcome back. Thank you for sticking with us. I'm here with Riley, who is our utility player, ultimate utility player. And I first want to say thank you for being here. I don't know if you had a choice necessarily, but I feel like you're a willing participant.
I am pretty willing.
I think like the vibe I get from you, just like working with you, is like you're kind of game for anything. Like,
I would say that. Yeah. There's not a lot of like boundaries that I have. I'm just kind of like, unless it's not like life or death.
Great. Yeah. No, you just like, you are game to help however you can. And that is such an admirable and necessary skill and like personality trait, I think, especially in a small agency setting where we don't have a real deep bench. So you're kind of our backup to a lot of things.
Most definitely.
So start at the beginning of how you got here, and maybe not like, we don't need to go back to like 1991.
Of course.
Yeah.
Well, it was 1999. Graduated high school. I didn't really know what I really wanted to do.
I still don't
of people
know what I want to be when I grow up.
Exactly. So. A lot of people go to college and they're like, I have no idea what I want to do. So it's whatever. But decided to go on a visit to Morningside and saw their business classes and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, I think I might want to do business. It's pretty broad, but at least it's kind of like a safe bet, you know. But when I went on my visit, they had like, you know, oh, here's advertising, here's marketing, you know. Yeah. I saw advertising and it had like a creative aspect to it with like graphic design. There was like photography and all that. And I was like, yes, I'm game for that. So I only really went on a visit once with them and I was like, I'm just going to go there because I don't really like to get out that much. I like to stay comfortable where I'm at, you know. So
that is interesting because I don't... you strike me as still like a little bit adventurous. So
sometimes,
but like pragmatic, I think, because not to like delve too personal, but like you were able to live at home all 4 years, which saved you a ton of money.
Oh, definitely.
Which like I admire that. So I think some pragmatism involved in that choice as well.
Exactly.
Carry on. This is also my analysis of all of your personal choices that we're going to talk about.
I enjoy it. Thank you. But yeah, I went to Morningside, graduated with an advertising degree and a graphic design minor. Okay. So
I don't know if I knew the minor part. That's I mean, surprise.
It was more of kind of like, you only need one more class for a minor. Right. I was like, let's do it. You know? Yeah. So did that. Was kind of like, I don't know, I was just kind of just out for a summer, like looking for a job as I was like, you know, working at Hy-Vee, being the meat man, you know.
The meat man.
Yeah, exactly. But my friend Zach and my other friend Christian.
Podcast producer, previous podcast guest.
Exactly.
Also, which I guess you're going to get to, employees. Remind me, were you also in one of Rich's classes?
Yes, I was.
Okay. So you knew a little bit about what you were getting into before.
Yes. He probably had one of the most like just well-rounded classes at Morningside, because like when you go to Morningside for like business, they kind of they tell you and they teach you just kind of like, this is what you might see, you know, or they'll teach you stuff that happened like 20 years ago and it's not necessarily
accurate. Yeah.
But it's still useful information, but being able to see something that's like modern and something that you're going to actually step into, really eye-opening. Yeah. But yes.
So Zach and Christian.
Yes, going back to them. They ended up getting a job here at Antidote 71 and they were like, you know, hey, there's an account coordinator position open. You might as well just go for it. Yeah. And it was either Sioux City or Omaha. I, of course, wanted to stay in Sioux City.
In your bubble, in your comfortable
It's the safe option.
Yeah.
But yes, I ended up going for it, applied for it, ended up getting the job, and great decision.
I remember, because we do kind of a like maybe non-traditional interview process. I don't know the last time I sat through like a traditional interview situation as the like interviewee. But I remember when you came in, like I'm remembering like a fun shirt.
Yes.
But then also we just spent the whole time talking about food and we're like, well, he's hired. Yeah. Like, we needed no other information.
After I left that day, I was like, I don't know how to feel about it because we didn't talk about the job at all. Yeah. It was more about, you know, what food would you take if you were stranded on an island or something like that, I think was the question.
What would you like? The question is, if you had to eat only one food for the rest of your life, what would it be?
That's
and
what it was.
Did you pick pizza? I
think I had like pizza or like pasta just because it's like well-rounded.
Those are common answers. Also, that's my favorite question. One of my favorite questions for people because it really like forces you to think. But then you find out about like people can be shifty where they're like, oh, I will choose generic pasta because you can put lots of things with it. Yeah. And so I remember being like, well, he's creative because he picked a multifaceted food.
I want to say I did pick either one of those two.
I should be keeping better track of people's answers.
Get a running list going.
Right? Yeah. So what is it that you enjoy about what you're doing right now?
Well, it's a mix. It's a mixed bag. So it's just kind of like, you know, when I come to the office every day, it's not the same thing. It's like, you could be getting some of this. You could be, you know, helping.
What are some of those things?
Like, so you could be helping, like, put together a website, you know, entering some data, or you could be doing billing, or you could be messaging clients via email for different things that they have going.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's a bunch of different stuff. It's a lot to keep track sometimes, but it's like a good, healthy mix of a lot of different things.
Do you have a favorite thing?
For right now, I think I probably enjoy doing billing the most just because it's just like...
That is amazing.
Yeah, it's just kind of like, it's a routine task that I can narrow down, and I'm like kind of priding myself on like trying to get better at it every time or like faster. So
are you setting a timer where you're like, last month I did it in 27 minutes. This month I'm going to set a new PR.
Yeah, it's usually like I'll go by days. Like, it took me 3 days last month, or this time it only took me like a day and a half. And now like if we had everything pulled, I could probably do it like within a day.
I want to give you a standing ovation right now. That's really spectacular. Also, no one on our team is like, you know what I love to do? Billing. No one is like signing up for that. So the fact that you're like, I actually enjoy that. That's really very valuable.
It's pretty, like, it can be pretty monotonous for a lot of people, but it's like you have to have the small monotonous tasks in life so you can like sit back and just like think about things. You just want to like
tick stuff off and move through it.
Exactly.
Yeah. So kind of in that vein, then, if that's like your favorite thing right now, what does it mean to be the utility player? Like, what is that?
So usually, you know, tying it back to an old episode, it could be old, it could be upcoming one. But tying it back, you said you like sports references. I think it was during Zach's interview. But
I appreciate that you've researched this.
Yes.
Like you have a back catalog.
But tying it back with a sports reference, utility player is commonly related to baseball, which is just a player that can cover a lot of positions.
Yeah.
So relates just like in any other, you know, work, other sports, whatever. You can cover a lot of bases. Yeah. You know?
So you're like a power forward scenario or like an EH situation. Okay. EH, DH.
DH, yeah.
What is EH? But there's an EH, right? That's also a thing?
Probably.
Don't ask me about the sports. I'm doing my best. Okay. So talk to me about what you feel like the skills are that you have that make you the utility player.
So I think one of the best skills that you can have being a utility player is being able to adjust on the fly with a lot of things. So if somebody drops, you know, here, I want you to do this, and you're just like, I have no idea, like, I've never done this before, you kind of have to like adjust, go with the flow. You have to be like water, you know?
Yeah. Fluid.
Fluid like water. But another thing is you have to be, kind of drawing a blank here.
Right. I think like if I was gonna answer for you, which I'm gonna do right now, but I would say like your just willingness to jump in, like you have such an enthusiasm for being helpful, which I really identify with because I have like a similar, I'm like, how can I make this easier for someone else? And I feel that from you. And I also just like, you're not a complainer and you're just like, I'm going to do it. If you ask me to do something that I don't know how, I'm going to figure it out. I might have some questions, but I'll put my head down and do it, which is really, really admirable.
Same thing. Yeah. Tomato.
Exactly. Potato. I think too, like we kind of have that in common where like my knowledge base is probably like an inch deep and a mile wide, where I know enough things to be a little bit dangerous, but it also kind of allows us to slot in where we can be most valuable too, where it's like, I'm curious about this, I'm going to learn more. Exactly. And then maybe I can, you know, deepen or like fill a different role or slot. And I think we'll talk more about this in probably another episode, but just the nature of a small agency where, I mean, we kind of touched on it. We don't have a deep bench. Like
exactly.
We're 12 or 13 people now. And we all have a pretty like specialized role in that roster, and having somebody that can kind of like back in or step back up or step in when people are on vacation, or like we just need a fire put out, like that's so valuable.
Yeah. When I was researching that was like a big thing when I saw that, like, you know, in small companies, you're always going to have people that specialize in different positions, but, it's really useful to have different people that can specialize in a lot of different things, just like you said,
the role
cover
of
bases.
Generalism,
Yes,
for sure.
exactly.
Yeah. Do you have, the other thing that's valuable, especially because you're young, as the elder utility player of my wisdom, but I think it's also really helpful to like rule out what you don't want to do, where it's like, I have done a lot of jobs in the past where I'm like, I learned some things from this, but I know that I never need to do that again. So like you're able to kind of hone in on what feels good to you.
Exactly. Touch all the bases now and then,
we're making
say if they're yes or no.
Sports references.
Keep a tally how many times I say touch the bases. But, exactly.
Have you done any like digging into how your day might differ from like a normal account coordinator or like somebody at a larger agency, like, or you're just so thrilled to do what you're doing that you don't care about?
Yes and no. I mean, I haven't really like gone out and like looked and see, or like reached out to people like, oh, what do you do on a daily basis? Because, they may or may not be 100% truthful on that. But it's kind of like, I like where I'm at in my lane. I don't need to ask other people how they are, but it's just kind of like, I can also kind of suss out the differences a little bit as well. Yeah. Because like, if you're just a normal account coordinator, you're probably just doing the back and forth work a lot. I differ because I'm just kind of like, just like we help out in a lot of different areas, I can figure out how to do this. Just like, if you need help, just tell me. Yeah.
I mean, there was even talk in the office the other day of like potentially teaching you some like back end web development where you're like, maybe there's a minute where we need somebody to like throw in a new image or, whatever that like web work looks like. And you're like, yep, sign me up without any reservation. And I just think that's really, like I said, really important and really admirable, especially in someone as young as you are. Like,
I would say a big thing, like you said a lot, is like just being able to help and like know you're helping out for like the bigger picture. You know? It may be like a small, like, oh, I just need you to like throw these in a document or something, but it's still like you're shaving time off by doing that. So
the efficiency piece is really, really valuable. Yeah. Man, this was a delight. Thank you so much for letting me pick your brain a little bit. I hope that you continue to love billing, because if I never had to send another invoice, it would be too soon. So,
well, I want to thank you for having me on. For this week's quick tip, try find something that you enjoy doing and are good at doing that nobody else is good at doing. That's called job security. Nobody's going to want to get rid of you.
That's it for another episode of Cocktails, Tangents, and Answers.
We hope it was as much fun to listen to as it was to make.
You can find me on Twitter or Instagram at _RichMackey. I try not to make it too difficult. It's just my name. And you can find our agency at Antidote _71. That's ANTIDOTE _71 on Twitter and Instagram as well.
And you can find me at home sipping a craft cocktail prepared by my in-home bartender. It's my husband.
We'll be back with another episode every other week and a whole new cocktail recipe, plenty more tangents, and of course, answers to those pressing marketing questions.
And if you'd like to send us a question, you can go to ctapodcast.live to send us an email.
Or you can call our hotline at 402-718-9971 and leave us a voicemail. Your questions might be used for future episodes of the podcast.
For now, like and subscribe and tune in next time.